Good morning, everyone. My name is Paweł Wójcik, and I'm going to talk about our way to build a global brand. Let me start this. This company, RedoxMe, originates from an environment here in Norrköping, which consists of a laboratory of organic electronics at Linköping University and also research institutes of Sweden. And there were also many other organizations around, like Innovation Office, Norrköping Science Park, Lead Almi, and many others. So when I was starting the company, I was knocking every door and asking every people I could talk. And based on that, yes, I came up with the company. So the initial idea, the main idea still in the company is to design equipment for scientific research. And by this, I understand an extension that you put in the lab and you connect the infrastructure of the lab to this extension, and you can measure many different responses at the same time from one sample, which is very important from the scientific point of view, from analytical point of view. So we wanted to promote this good practice in measurements because there was no standardization at this time. And also we wanted to provide those highly specialized products and also service. And by service, I mean that each product can be customized. And we are targeting mainly academia and research and development centers. So we are targeting mainly those researchers doing work at the lab. But also we are developing some products for school laboratories, and we are opening to industry because slowly this market of research tools is saturating. And this is a huge market. This is only about the electrochemical instruments for science, and it's worth more than $2 billion every year, and it's still growing. And when we were starting the company, there were some competitors, but the products they were offering were just disappointing. So when I was doing my own research, I couldn't buy this equipment that I needed, so I had to design this by myself. So there was nothing on the market with this combined functionality as our products. There was no standardization. There was nothing for membranes. All these companies, they were selling off-the-shelf products, so there was no way to customize it. And all these tools at that time were outdated. And also the low number of players. So that was a good opportunity. So everything started in 2009 when I was a PhD student in Lisbon, Portugal. So I had to design this equipment for myself. And then in 2015, I joined Linköping University. And half year later, I founded the company. And yeah, also the same year I joined RISE. In September 2018, we opened a new branch in Poland, and I quit academia and RISE just at the beginning of pandemic. So that was very risky decision, but I was not aware how this will go at that time. But after 2.5 years, I'm standing in front of you talking about building global brands, so it turned out good for me. So let me show you something about the history of the company. So the only money I needed at the beginning was the starting capital, and at that time it was 50,000 SEK. The other costs were negligible, and I did not take any loan, I didn't take any public funding, and I didn't have investor, and I didn't even put my own money on the company. And that's because the company was grown organically since the beginning. So that was the humble beginnings. So that was the only assets I had when I was founding a company. And I just devoted one of the rooms in my house to make a workshop. And then all the safety rules were actually broken there. So the kids were running around. With the time it got better. So the same room started to look like a laboratory or a workshop. But now we have 2 locations. The one is in this building in Norrköping, so here we cover research and development. And then we have a branch in Krakow, which is covering assembly and distribution. And we have many subcontractors in 12 different countries. So here we design our components. We send the models to our subcontractors. They just do this and then send this back, and we assemble the products here and in Poland. So it's a small company. We are only 11 people, and we follow the gender equity plan, not only by numbers, but also by positions. So this is the building that we are located. So we started with the 350 square meters, but this year we doubled the space. So we are now on the half of the floor in this building. And we are located in this wonderful environment close to university, no shopping science park, RISE, and other institutions. And those are our premises in Poland. This is a center of energy, and our products are related to energy, so that's why we got the possibility to be there. So we have, at the moment, around 50 different cells for different experiments. And we also have a wide range of electrodes, so the customer can just unpack the system and start making measurements right away. We also sell membranes for those systems, and some of those membranes we are the only provider in the world. And we also have some chemicals, but only those related to electrochemistry, and many other tools that are needed in the lab when making those experiments. And we are still developing new products, so we want to cover the whole field of electrochemistry, and this is actually happening soon. And we will still work on electrodes. But I would like to show you the advancement that we do in electrochemical cells, because when we were starting, the state of the art was just a beaker where you put electrodes on some holders and you make electrochemistry. So there are many disadvantages of this setup, mainly that those results are not reproducible. So that was the first goal, just to make dedicated systems that are free of those limitations. So you can have well-controlled conditions. And then just after, we introduced customization. And for us, customization is it's just another feature of the product. And then we started to combine responses in one cell. So we use the term hyphenation. So we just multiply the names, put all the techniques in the name of the cell, so the customer knows that this can be used in the multiple experiment. Then also we started to merge functionality of those cells. So the container for liquid is not anymore only just a passive container, it can be also an electrode for the system. And then also we designed the cells for robotic arms, so they can be fully autonomous. And I think the highest complexity level and functionality we can obtain with microfluidics. So now we have a huge project on this, and we are scaling down all our products to the micro scale. So it will be a small disposable chip that you can run experiments. And I think the highest level that you can imagine, that scientists can imagine in this field, is like multiplexing of those microcells in one chip. So we are covering all this, and we are selling our products through retail store. So this is Redox.me. Every scientist can come there and select equipment and ask for quotation. And at the same time, we have something like a supermarket, and this is only for distributors. So this is on invitation. And those are not only cells, those are ready setups. So all electrodes are included. And this is just to make the life easier for those guys that are trying to sell this. Yes, but the main driving force in the company since the beginning is innovation. And I like to say that innovation is one of the main natural resources in Sweden, together with the minerals, wood, and the water. And even though we have no Swedish people in the company, we feel very comfortable in this environment. And for us, innovation is ability to come up with the new ideas that will facilitate the measurements and will just overcome all the limitations in the current instrumentation. So I was trying to build the company with the innovation at every possible level. So the whole company is placed in the cloud, so I can control it with my smartphone. All the systems were integrated. We are also using crowdsourcing. It's a great technique. We can involve our customers in creation of our products. But I think this is a topic for another presentation, maybe in the future. Because today I'm going to focus on social media marketing. And using this technique, we are now able to reach every lab, every research lab in the world in a few days. So whatever we post there, it's immediately seen by our customers. But this model has some limitations. So the main assumption of this model is that the product or service that you are creating, it has to be addressing professionals in some specific field. There are some exceptions, of course, but for us it was working well because we were applying this to the specific field of studies, which is electrochemistry. But it can be a specific industry branch or a position of the company. So for example, when you have a product addressing to an accounting person in the company, you can easily target these people. And then also people normally put the information about specific skills, type of education and interest. So for example, they can follow some company which is your competitor, so you can just harvest all these people and ask them to be in your network. So the first step in social media marketing is to create your business channel in social media. And this should be done as early as possible. And this is because there is a really huge time that you have to wait before LinkedIn or Facebook gives you a proper range. So it means that at the beginning, your posts will not be seen, not even in your network. So you have to wait until you get the proper range. And you have to behave, of course. Then where? So for us, LinkedIn is the main social media. We use also others, but when we analyze traffic from other social media, LinkedIn is number one, and there is only a few percentage for the rest. Of course, you need a premium account for that, which is some cost, but still negligible. So at the beginning, you should create your company webpage in those social media, but you have to be aware that this is not enough. So many companies, they create the channel and they post some information there, but this is seen only by a few people. So this is working only for huge brands, which are already known and well established. For startups, it's a no solution. Because those web pages are only informative, and then the number of followers does not really matter. So you shouldn't stop here. That's why I think the rest it's more important. So first, you should create media personalities. And that's because people are much more likely to follow personalities than brands. And this should be also done at the beginning when you create your company, just to save some time. And I think still LinkedIn is the best for that. And those personalities should be real people from your company. Professionals, company employees. So it should be something which is true. So all this technique that I'm going to show you today, it's something very fair to our customers and to anyone. And this is not about faking anything. So so you have to create those personalities so people will see invitation from you. They will judge if this is something real or not. So they make decisions based on your profile. So in the headline, you should show who you are at the profession. So I am a scientist, and I'm addressing scientists. So I'm in the same line with them. The rest, it's more or less important, my position at the company. So I'm identifying with this target group, and you should always avoid words like freelancer, business guy, or startup, or visionary, futurist, enabler, and any others, because with this, you will create only another social media freak, not a real personality. And then the section about, it's something that defines belonging to this community. and this is also only the truth. So even if you don't have a content to show, you just write about your skills and your interests. And then experience section, it's just to make your experience credible. So you can just show that all your life you were working to be in the place that you are now. And you should create few of those personalities. So they will be covering different fields. And we have other personalities in the company, 4 in total. Monica, she is responsible for network of distributors. So we were targeting different people than the scientists. Marcin is more into batteries. And Maciek, he has no technical education. But he is a head of the department and he is a very skilled guy. So that's also is addressing different target. So first you should collect data about your audience. And for that, you should prepare the list of keywords for each of the personalities. So personality 1, it was me in this case. It was like a broad electrochemistry, all possible applications. So that was the longest list. And then personality 2, it was more narrow. It was mainly about the storage applications. And the last personality was a person who's supposed to meet in social media distributors of equipment. So that's completely different keywords. And then also you should prepare the list of countries, regions, or cities that you want to capture. And I can tell you that you can select the country like USA and you will have like 1 million results. But you will see only 100 pages. So you will see only 10,000 results after all. So in order to not lose them, the rest, you should divide for smaller regions. So for example, if you want to target only Silicon Valley, you should go for San Jose. It will be enough. And then you will be able to see most of the results. And then it's very easy. You just go to social media and you'll apply this combination of keyword and location, and you do all the possible combinations. So this is an example. This is electrochemistry. I target only people, not companies and other entities. And this is only in Sweden. I got almost 700 results. So I could just go one by one and invite them to my network. But then the daily limit, is around 100. And then the next day, when I search again, I will have a different list, and it's a mess. So instead of doing this manually, I suggest using a bot. And I think this is the best solution. So you have to search manually, but you just harvest all the connections, all the results in the database using bot. And so far, the best I found is a linked helper. And why bot? And that's the main reason is that it will create the network for you. It will work when you sleep or do other things important for the company. It knows all the limitations imposed by LinkedIn, and those limitations are constantly changed, so you will not find this information by Googling. It will imitate your movement. It will even imitate your movement of your mouse cursor, and then it will go to the profile, see the experience, and then it will letter by letter write the message to the person. Is this far cheaper than your time? It's only $45 per month. And it will never make mistake. It will never get bored. So this can be constantly running in one of the computers. And this is a fully legal practice. And this is also morally correct. The bot automates your activities. And of course, bots can do much more. They can fake personality. They can fake anything in social media. That's why they are so afraid of them. But we are not using that. We are using only this functionality, which is related to harvesting contacts and sending invitation, nothing more. So this is a very little amount of the full functionality. So you are only collect connections and send the message. And there is only argument, the only one I found, which is really important, is that LinkedIn does not allow using bots because they are afraid of the other functionality. So when we have the list of the connections in the database, we should set up the bot to send messages on your behalf. And this is very simple. You just write the message and then the name will be taken from the database and you will send invitations. one by one. And that should be nothing about the product, business, or service. There should be no links, no hashtags, no lies, just a friendly message. Because this is invitation from you, not from your company. This is your personal invitation to another colleague from the community. And then when you have the database of all the names, you should verify, because they may be a person that you know. They can be your competitor, close friends, or relatives, so you just want to remove them, and you can easily find them by domain or by name. And then when they reply to your invitation, when they say something more than done, added, accepted, or something, then you should also reply. So this is hard work, it's a manual work, so sometimes you have to reply hundreds of messages per day, but this is mainly like saying thank you, or I don't know, something very simple. You can have a few templates for that, but you should read all of them and just, try to respond. So there are some limitations. You can collect not more than 30,000 connections on LinkedIn per each personality, but you should always keep a few thousand, because in the future you will get, when you are already famous in social media, you will get invitations from other people. So it would be very rude to not accept them. So I have at the moment more than 22,000 connections, followers in LinkedIn, but with all personalities we have around 40,000. Then when we have the network, or when we are in the middle of the creation of the network, when we already have some people, we can start sharing content. So each personality will just create different posts and post it, but that should be only a few sentences, and that should be also with the hashtags, because this will decrease your range. And the link, you can put the link, but it should be like see more at, and then this is like an invitation to see more if they are interested. And then the largest range you can get with the videos, and it should be a video that when you are scrolling, it will start playing immediately. So no intros, very short, and it should be a pure essence. So yes, you can just go from one video to another, and then you just know immediately what this is about. And those videos should be hosted on LinkedIn. You cannot just put the link from the YouTube, because then the range will be negligible. Also, you can create graphics and infographics. It should be something, there's important things. You should use subtitles in the video, because many people use social media at work. So yes, they prefer to read. Then the graphics, it should be also hosted on LinkedIn, not loaded from the external link, because this is also cuts the range. So I have some examples of a standard post. So just to magnify this. So I'm just saying, as a scientist, that this is something potentially interesting to my network. If they want to convince microbes to produce some electricity or hydrogen from water and sun. So it sounds like something that I recommend, or I'm sharing as a nice thing in my network. There is a link, of course, to the product page, and this post got 110 likes, 9 comments, 7 shares, and it was seen by almost 14,000 people. And using Google Analytics, I can just see exactly what's the impact of that post. So you can see here, this is exactly this peak. So this is a weekly plot. So at that week, I would normally get 1,000 users in our page, but because of the post, we got 2,000 users almost. And I can even check hour by hour. There was a peak of 300 entries just in the moment I published the post. And then also I can see on our web page, which is we use a Shopify platform for our retail store. I can also see that it was a peak of interest about this product. That's another example. And here I'm also addressing those colleagues, my fellow electrochemists. And I'm speaking about some system which just will make their life easier. So something that they can put in the fume hood and make experiment instead of going to the optical lab. which is an amazing idea for every electrochemist. And this is also 220 likes, 15 comments. There was a huge discussion here, 8 shares, and it's 18,000 views. So how do I know if this is working? So I was showing also, so this is like the all users that were visiting our webpage since the beginning. And all these peaks, this is some kind of campaign or post. So you see that it's not only about the peak, but also about the trend, because some people, they enter the webpage after some time. And I also can monitor that those people come from every country with academia. And we provide equipment to all countries with academia except North Korea, Vatican, and recently also Russia. But that's, so when we have already the established audience and we can speak to our prospective customers, we should also make something which is more solid than this. We should provide the web page, build the network of distributors, and that's because we are addressing mainly universities, and they prefer to buy from a local distributor. So this is very specific to our activities. But so we allied with all these big brands selling potentiostats, and they provide our products as accessories. With the time, it was our products were more and more complex and advanced. So now I can say that even the potentiostats are accessories to our systems. But because of allying with those big brands, because of the good contracts with them, we still remain, our product name is on the products, and none of the distributor is exclusive. So they were accepting all the worst combination of agreements, the conditions that they can actually accept. So, and that's also the main reason is that our product is just great. So we have currently around 200 distributors globally. So this means around 1,500 people actively selling our products. And this can be also seen in our financial situation. I just removed the numbers, they're irrelevant. But you can see, it's interesting to see all these valleys here. Those are the pandemic waves. But the trend is growing. This is our retail store. This is the whole sale page. So both distributors and retail customers, they are coming to buy more. And one of the reasons for me to move to Sweden was the work-life balance. I know that you care about this. And there are 3 kids here. 2 of them were born during the company development. So I think I want to stress this point that those people from startups, they are normally very busy, but you have to find the time for a few hours of quality time every day, and that's important. And then that would be all. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I can address them. And all of you are welcome to see our premises. This is actually next door, 1A, 5th floor. So after the meeting, we can go there and see if you want.